What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of The Chi. This is season 6, episode 2, and the episode is titled Mo Doodah, Mo Problems. And y'all already know I'm about to get right into it. I am not going to go scene by scene because honestly, I gotta try to tie some of these storylines together so that way it makes sense, okay? So the first person that I'm actually going to start with, let's start with Victor, because this right here was his first day on the job, y'all. Okay? This is his first day on the job, and you already know he has his partner. I can't remember his name, but, he's right there with him, and he already has his first meeting. He like, I ain't tell nobody to come down here. What are you talking about? Come to find out that it's Jamal Lene's brother. I'm like, when did he get here? What is going on? Oh, baby boy, he has changed his life over to Christ. He is nonviolent. I'm just like, okay, now, Negro, you did murder somebody, but I'm still trying to figure out, how are you here? Now, according to him, someone tampered with the evidence and the case was thrown out. Y'all know I had to put my thinking cap on. I said, somebody tampered with the evidence. I can see how that could be a thing, because when he murdered old boy, y'all remember that there was no police around. Y'all remember this was when Trig, or should I say Victor, and Tracy decided to be neighborhood superheroes, and they were supposed to be, handling all the crimes. So I can totally see how it can be tampered with. But let's go ahead and move on, because he's basically seeking help from Victor, so that way he can see his sister. Now, here's my thing. Victor, he's like, it's not going to be easy, all this stuff. And I'm just like, Victor, why you low-key giving judgmental? Like, I'm sorry, because when we met you, your name was Trig. You were not Victor, and your name was Trig because it was short for trigger, not because you were good at trigonometry. So, of course, like I said, this man wants to see his sister, but Victor is like, you got to give me some time. And I'm like, well, did you take some time when you popped up on Jake? When you came back into his life out of nowhere, doing whatever you were doing? I'm sorry, I just felt like Victor, he is a tad bit judgmental, okay? In this situation, because I'm like, you were Jamal at one point. You know what I'm saying? So now we are back at the, community superheroes facility, and Victor, he introduces Jamal to Tracy. And baby, when I tell you, I feel like they gonna be a thing, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for this man. He's about to go blow her back out. Doodah is going to be long gone in the wind. However, once Doodah catch wind, you already know he's going to try to seek revenge. Oh, it's going to get real good. I feel like this season is going to get real good because, baby, the way Jamal was giving Tracy the eyes, I said, he about to give Doodah a run for his money. Okay, Tracy, we see you. So, next thing you know, we have Fatima meeting up with Victor, right? They have dinner, and, he's telling her all about Lene's brother and how, he's changed. He's now volunteering at Rock. And I'm just like, y'all still not paying people at Rock? Somebody got to get paid around here. But Victor, he doesn't want to be, disappointed with Jamal if he ends up, flipping out or doing whatever. So Fatima is like, he needs to talk to somebody. And I'm just like, okay, how long has this man been in jail? I'm just curious. Because Lene done got adopted. Okay, so it's been some months. Who he supposed to go talk to? Like, maybe he is in counseling. Did we even ask that question? We didn't. We assumed that he isn't. But okay. So, also, it kind of made me give Fatima a side eye because I'm like, does Victor have a therapist? Because has Victor told you about his past? Because I know Imani knows his past. And Imani knows all the things that Trig used to do. You know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, when we met Trig, when he popped up on the scene, didn't he shoot somebody? Or am I tripping? Nonetheless, she goes on to talk about how, mental health is important And again, I am giving this side eye to them because somebody had to give Victor a chance at one point. He wasn't always this stand-up guy. So the fact that he's like looking down at Jamal a little bit, I'm kind of giving him the side eye. So now Victor, he says that, his focus is going to be on black men and mental health. I said, oh, of course that's going to be the storyline. Let's go ahead and move on. So Victor, he goes to see Nina and Dre about if Jamal can see his sister, and the decision is hers. And I'm like, of course it is. First of all, this girl is almost grown. I'm pretty sure she can decide this on her own. And Nina and Dre, they're like, well, he can't mess up again, and we're not going to go through this. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? They are acting as if Jamal was a trifling daddy, and he would tell Lene, hey, I'm going to come over and never show up. I'm like, he shot somebody, and the way y'all treat people, shooting people on the shy, he fine. He gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's back to normal. So I'm just my mind is blown the way that they're treating Jamal. Like, not trying to be funny, but Nina and Dre, y'all couldn't even get y'all own child in therapy. Yeah. Y'all couldn't even get Kevin in therapy. And we know all the trauma that he's been through. So the audacity of y'all. But at the end of the day, we see that Lene, she wants to see her brother because she's been missing him for a while now. Like, we've seen episodes where Lene has wanted to see her brother, but unfortunately he was locked up. So now this brings me to the conversation of the kids, y'all, because I've already mentioned Lene. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more of the conversation that she had with her brother, because I thought that this was actually a really, really good scene. Because Lene, she talks to her brother, and this man, he is really working on being saved. I don't know what that consists of, but that's what he told her. And they talk about her going to college. She's going to be the first one in the family. You can clearly tell that he's very proud of his sister. She lets him know that she has a boyfriend, and he's like, well, don't just be giving your body away. I said, okay, big brother, calm down. And then he ends up asking her, like, oh, is he a street dude? And she's like, not like you. I said, ooh, Lene, baby, you just don't know. Bakari is into something that is way too deep. And honestly, I don't even know how we're going to follow Bakari's storyline of him trying to balance being a teenager, hanging out with Papa and Jake and all of them, having a girlfriend who's his age, while he's doing all types of crazy things in the middle of the night with Duda. It's crazy. But let's go ahead and jump on back because I want to talk about, I think I'm just going to run through all the kids and then try to make some type of connection. Okay, so let's jump over to Maisha and Gemma because they are shopping at this store, and Maisha, she's like, I need to make some money. I'm ready to make some money. And she runs into another artist, and she sort of kind of gave her a compliment, but not really. Because she was like, you only got one song, girl, but I like it. It was real shady. And, she does offer Maisha a slot at her show. So Maisha's like, oh, yeah, I can do it, or whatever. Keep in mind, she only got one song. So Gemma is telling her, maybe we could do a 10-minute set. And Maisha's like, I can do 15 minutes. Again, sis, you only have this one song. We gotta build a little bit more. And the only thing I kept thinking was, you would need, some more songs, but where you gonna record? Because didn't she record her first song at Papa's pulpit? Or am I crazy? I'm gonna let Maisha rock though. Okay, so I'm gonna slide on over to Gemma because baby girl was on her job. You know that Gemma, she is Maisha's manager, and she had a full list of demands for Maisha. I said, okay, girl. Gemma clearly knows what it's like to be a manager. Okay, I see you. So I'm actually going to hop on over to Kevin and Jake real quick because they are at Kevin's house. They're playing a video game or whatever. And Maisha ends up texting Kevin like, oh, I'm opening up for Sasha Go Hard. And now, he all smiley and shit because he likes Maisha. So Jake, he actually wants Kevin to wear, one of his t-shirts at his next tournament because that way, he's getting promotion. His friend is going to wear it. There's a lot of young kids around who are, teenagers. They're impressionable. And if they think that the shirt's fire, he's going to get more sales. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I will say this. It was cute to see Kevin get all, cute and smiley about Maisha texting him. So let's go on to this performance. So before baby girl even goes on stage, we see that she is a little bit nervous because the last time she performed anywhere, it was when the shooting happened. And I will say it was really good to see Gemma encourage her to go ahead and perform, especially considering what happened to Gemma when that shooting happened. So we don't get to see the performance. However, we do see Maisha. She's back in her dressing room. She's still hyped, you know what I'm saying, because the performance clearly went well. And who happens to be in her dressing room? Kevin. He out here flirting real heavy. And she's like, oh, so you trying to get back with me? And he says that he misses her, but according to her, she has a lot going on. Y'all, we still trying to figure out what Maisha got going on because she told Papa the same thing. But we gonna let this rock. So now they're trying to figure out, what is this situationship? And they can't tell Papa. I mean, honestly, they can't tell anybody. So here comes Gemma. It looks like she's peeping game, but she ain't gonna say nothing right now. But she does give Maisha her money, and she took her 10% off the top. So Maisha is like, but wait a minute, I got this gig myself. The girl was talking to me, all this stuff. And Gemma's like, yeah, but I made all of this happen. You, a dressing room, a full list of snacks and everything else. That was me. So I'm like, Maisha, let Gemma get her 10%. She is your manager. Chill out, baby girl. But let's slide on over to Papa, okay? Now, Papa, him and Bakari, they're actually at Papa's house, right? They're having dinner with the family. And his parents, they basically feel like the kids need to get off their phones, crack a Bible open. But the kids, they ain't really listening like that. But one thing that he did point out was the fact that he knows that Bakari has been running around with Otis Perry's crew. I said, not you call him Otis Perry. You know him as Doodah too. He does tell the boys, listen, all money ain't good money. So Bakari, you already know, he is not trying to make no little bit of money because he never tried to get a job at Smokey's like Papa. He basically said, I ain't trying to make no $7.50 an hour. I want real money. Like, he wants to, not be broke. Because keep in mind, Bakari came from nothing. He ain't even a man. That boy don't even have no family. You know what I'm saying? So you have Papa's dad. He brings up the Bible again. And Papa challenges him. And baby, it got a little heated. You know what I'm saying? And Bakari, he was trying to, leave the situation. He's like, let me go ahead and excuse myself. But Papa's dad was like, no, because you're part of this family. And I love that for Bakari because I feel like he needs a family, especially considering he ain't got nobody. However, with the lifestyle that he has with Doodah, I don't know what's about to happen, y'all. So Papa's dad, he goes on to say how he wants the boys to do right. He hasn't always done the right things. Sometimes he's done things that, he's not very proud of, and he's still paying for that. Now, later on, we do see Papa, and he's at work. He's rushing to get out of there or whatever, and he doesn't want to miss his bus. But Kenya, she offers him a ride home. Baby, they get in that car, they riding together, listening to Anita Baker. We learn that she's a PK as well. And they talk about, a church sermon that her dad actually gave. And I'm like, okay, it seems like these two have a lot in common. She really does like her some Papa. And I like this for him. I really do. This girl seems really nice. We do see them again at Smokey's. And he basically can't ask her out until he actually turns 18. But they continue to, talk to each other, flirt with each other. So we're definitely going to see a sparking relationship with those two. Now, let's go ahead and slide on over to Shad. Oh, poor Shad. Poor Shad. Poor Shad. Because this guy, he wants to start his business, right? The throwback business. Why was he setting up a yard sale in the front yard? We already know that Deja don't like that type of stuff. So she's definitely giving him the side eye because she don't want that stuff in her front yard. You know what I'm saying? And we do see him attempt to get a sale, even though it didn't go too well because the first customer was like, oh yeah, I'll get this two-way. And he's like, okay, for $100. So then he lowered it to $50, and the man was like, no, I can give you $20 because who am I going to two-way with? Then he just ends up walking away. I'm like, poor Shad. Poor Shad is losing, okay? Left and right. But Deja, you know, she's trying to tell him that he should lower his prices. But according to Shad, you know, he has to start somewhere. Here's the thing. I think he needs to try to take this business of his online. Sell your little throwback jerseys and two-ways online, please, sir. I think that might work for you. But nonetheless, we actually see him later at Smokey's. So he's getting some food. Bakari ends up coming in, and Bakari, he offers to pay for his food. I said, damn, you're really down bad when the teenagers got to pay for your plate. That's sad. But nonetheless, Shad, you know, he's noticed that Bakari is running with Douda, even though Bakari's like, no, it's temporary. And we already know Shad has already been down that road. He knows this ain't temporary. Either you die or you go to jail playing around with somebody like Douda, okay? Like, I really want more for Bakari, and I also want more for Shad. So they talk about, you know, Shad's business and how, you know, he didn't realize it took so much to start one. So Bakari, he offers him some work, which you already know is with Douda. And he's like, nah, I ain't with that. Shad is not trying to go down that road, but I feel like he just might during this season, and that's really scaring me. Now, again, he's already been down this road before. He's been to jail for a lengthy amount of time. And I'm just like, I don't want Shad to do that. I really don't. My question is this, though. Why is Bakari, who's 16, 17 years old, why is he out here recruiting grown men? That's crazy. But on top of that, here's my thing about Shad. Why can't he take Victor's old position at Rock? Because you can't tell me that Victor and Tracy ain't making some type of money at Rock. Like, did we forget that Douda put into motion that they were going to give funding to them? And then Roslyn was working on it and working in the scenes and all of that? What happened to that? Because I'm trying to understand why Shad doesn't have a position at Rock where he's making actual money. That doesn't make any sense to me. But you know what? We're going to see how this season goes. You know what I'm saying? And then we shall discuss. Ooh, y'all. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Keisha and Emmett. And honestly, just, you know, the whole Emmett train into Douda. So we start the day off with him wanting to talk about the past night. And she doesn't want to. However, she does tell him, though, that he better not leave the house again the way that he did or they will be done. And I get that because the way he just abruptly left and then went to go hang out with Douda, yeah, that's a problem. So he basically is like, you know, I just went and took a walk. And she's like, yeah, you took a walk, all right. But I saw that you were with Douda because I saw you on Nook's IG. I said, wait a second, girl. I know you're not still following your ex who didn't give a damn about you when you went missing. And honestly, he was too old to be dating you as well. But I guess we're not going to bring that up. Like, I just feel like there is a clear disconnection when it comes to the relationship of Emmett and Keisha. And he talks about how, you know, he misses when they used to have fun. And she's like, well, I'm your woman. I'm not an amusement park. And I will say, that was a great line. However, I do think that there should still be some fun in the relationship. Like, take her on a date. Y'all should go up to New York and see the new Smokies. Like, do something, because all this seriousness, especially coming from Keisha, I'm kind of over it. Like, girl, can you smile? Because you've been serious this entire time. I miss when Keisha would laugh a little bit. But nonetheless, he apologizes to her, and now she wants to know, when are they going to shop for a new home? The only reason why you really want this new house is because he just got his ex a car. Now, according to her, though, she says that she wants a new place because, they need the space, and Tiff used to live here. So he's like, okay, well, I'll talk to Duda about it. He has a realtor friend. And, of course, you already know, Keisha don't want nothing to do with it. And I'm just like, well, girl, you gonna need Duda's money probably to afford the house, because this man is an idiot and he has spent over $30,000 on a new car for his baby mama that could have went towards a down payment on a house. You hear how crazy that is? But let's go ahead and move on, because we actually see Emmett with his dad, Darnell. And I usually love to see Emmett and Darnell together. However, this scene was quite sad to me, because Darnell is basically telling his son, listen, although you think Duda is cool and all, that man don't know everything. And Emmett, he's trying to tell his dad to not be jealous. Now, my thing is, why doesn't Darnell know anything about Duda and his dealings in the streets? Because they came from the same era. They're about the same age. Like, it's weird to me that none of the older people talk about Duda being known in the streets. Am I the only one who finds that to be weird? So Darnell is like, well, listen, I heard that you bought Tiff a car. So now Emmett has to tell him, like, okay, well, I'm trying to look for a house for me and Keisha. So Emmett's like, actually, you know what? I got to leave right now because I want to go look at a house or whatever. And Darnell's like, oh, I'll come with you. You know what I'm saying? But Emmett, he shut it down because he's like, oh, well, Duda will be there. And I'm like, see, what you not about to do is replace Darnell with Duda. That ain't going to make no sense for me, because I get it. Darnell, he was not the greatest dad. But since Emmett has been grown, Darnell has been right there rocking with Emmett. So I'm not understanding why he out here trying to have daddy issues and chase down Duda to replace Darnell. But let's go ahead and move on, because Emmett actually goes to see a house with Duda, right? So now let's go ahead and bring back a storyline, y'all. Do y'all think that we are going to bring back the storyline where the gang members were buying up all the houses? Y'all remember in season, I want to say it was 2, there was the new black cop. She came in and she figured out, it was her and the white guy, they figured out that the gangs were actually the ones who were putting the old people out of their house, beating them up, and they were buying up all the property. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to bring that storyline back, because if we do, I'm rocking with that, because I feel like they really should have went deeper into that years ago. But nonetheless, they looking at this house, right? But here's the thing. We learned that the location for this house is actually kind of far. It's not near Smokies. So here goes Duda. Oh, well, you know what? We can open up another location on the west side. Sir, you're moving too fast. You just renovated the original Smokies. You supposedly have a New York location that Emmett hasn't even seen. And now you're talking about having a third location? Slow your roll, Duda. But I get it. He probably trying to finance a third place so he can wash his money. Nonetheless, when it comes to buying a house, right, it's expensive. So Duda is like, well, listen, you put up whatever you can put in, and then I'll cover the rest. So Emmett, he wants to talk to Keisha first, of course. But Duda, he's like, no, just buy the house. And Emmett, he's like, okay, well, let me see the paperwork. Have y'all noticed we didn't see no paperwork? Now, the realtor, he suggested, go ahead and bring Keisha by so that way she can see the house. Baby, why he say that? Because you already know Duda, he's going to have an issue with it. But Duda, he's playing it cool. This is what I think is going to happen. I feel like Emmett is going to sign those papers. He's going to get the house. He ain't going to ever see the paperwork because Duda going to have it. And that realtor going to get killed by Duda because he did not like the fact that he suggested that he bring in Keisha. You know what I'm saying? So then we have Keisha. She actually comes to see the house, right? She likes it. She really does. And, Emmett has to tell her that Douda would be helping pay for the house because he ain't got the money for it. And she's like, okay, I guess. And I'm just like, girl, I'm going to need for you to pick a side and stand in it. Don't sit up here and not like Douda, but then tolerate him because he's helping you afford a house. Like, come on. So she tells him that, make sure that you tell Douda that this is a loan. We're going to pay him back and that both of our names needs to be on the mortgage. So we're supposed to be excited that they're buying a house. Keep in mind, they're not even married. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really care for that storyline there, but we're going to rock with it. One other thing that I wanted to bring up, because this still has to do with Douda, is the fact that Tracy actually ignored his calls, y'all. I was surprised because we all have seen that Tracy, when it comes to Douda, she has no control. Like, she will go back to that man time and time again, but she blocked his number, so there's a chance that she ain't gonna be rocking with him for a minute. And that's because, I'm telling y'all, Vic Mensa's character, Jamal, he about to go rock our world. And we gonna see it, y'all. But let me go ahead and talk about Douda real quick, and then I'll go to Tiff and Rob. So why does Douda and his little friends, because he don't hang out with nobody who's his age, they pull up to the church. So Douda is basically trying to wash his money through the church. Now, Papa's dad is like, listen, the last time I got money from you, I got arrested for money laundering. And I said, finally, we figure out what he got arrested for. And one of Douda's boys actually is the person who got caught, and they threw Papa's dad under the bus. So his dad mentions how he's sick of seeing Douda taking young boys and have them in the streets. And Douda's like, no, I'm providing them a better life. No, you're not, sir. Please don't think that you're some saint. So here comes, I think his name was Zay, the guy who stole the car. Here he comes trying to chime in or whatever. And he's like, listen, when somebody offers you a gift, you take it. Okay, Douda Jr. Now, we actually see Bakari, he's peeking through the church window, right? And Papa's dad, I don't think he saw him, but Papa's dad, he don't want nothing to do with this money. He wants him to get out of the church and leave him be. So when they get outside, Douda questions Bakari like, so why'd you stay outside? And Bakari's like, listen, I live with him. And Douda's like, yeah, but you work for me. I said, oh, he big bad. Bakari, you got on his bad side. You might want to fix it. Now, y'all, I don't know what is going to happen with Douda, Papa's dad, and Bakari. Here's the thing. I feel like this could go a lot of ways, and I'm definitely thinking that Douda wants to seek revenge. So either he is going to have Papa's dad killed, he's going to have Bakari do it, or I feel like there's a chance that Douda may even come after Papa. You know what I'm saying? Just to hurt Papa's dad. We shall see what happens in the season. But let's go ahead and talk about this last situation here, because we have Tiff, y'all. She goes to Dante's spot. Now, I wasn't even sure we were going to get him this season, but he's here. And we also meet a weed connoisseur by the name of Cairo, who is there. Now, she wants Cairo to leave or whatever, and Dante tells her that, no, you should go ahead and try his weed. It's really good. So she does, and she's like, you know what, it is good. You gonna put me out of business. So we actually learned that Dante has been smoking this man's weed exclusively. And he basically buys her weed just so that he can see her. I'm like, am I supposed to think that that's sweet? Because it sort of kind of is. However, Dante, remember, you didn't want to be in a relationship. You thought it was a situationship. You was boyfriend number 2. You was just giving her the D and she could go ahead and go back home to Emmett. Yeah, that was the type of energy you was on, sir. So next thing you know, we have Rob and Tiff. She allows him to smoke the weed or whatever. And he's like, yo, this is really good weed. So now she wants to work with Cairo. Here's the thing. Rob just did a deal with Douda. So he not really trying to have no issues with him because he already knows Douda like to shoot people for fun. And baby, he ain't lying. Now here's my question. Why is it that Rob knows that Douda likes to shoot people for fun, but everybody else around here be acting dumb when it comes to Douda and what he really about? I'm like, stop acting like y'all really know him as Otis Perry. Cut that out. So Tiff actually wants to meet up with Cairo and have a meeting with him. Now Rob is cool with it as long as she don't make a deal with him. So when she lets him know that, I got all his info from Dante. No, she said, let me get his info from Dante. Oh, now Rob want to join the meeting. Because I feel like he knows that there's a chance she might go back with Dante. She may not mess with Emmett no more. But Dante, he might still have a little problem on his hands with him. Nonetheless, we get to the meeting. And this man is telling them how they can grow their own weed. He doesn't want money from them. He really just wants to teach them how to smoke better, how to grow it, all that stuff. So Rob is like, okay, so we can just grow it at the house. And he's like, no, baby, you need a whole facility. So the only thing is, I was just like, yo, I feel like this is what Brandon's cousin used to do, right? Y'all remember that Brandon on season 1, he had a cousin who had like a weed business or something like that? Or am I crazy? Nonetheless, here goes Cairo telling them that, they need to find an investor because that way he can teach them and they can be their own bosses, which is something that Tiffany really wants. So Tiffany, she questions Rob later, like, okay, so how can we get this money? And he's like, I ain't about to ask my family for no money because we already know his family rich. You know what I'm saying? And she basically tells him, like, listen, you need to ask your mom for a loan. So that way we don't ever have to, work for Douda again. Now, here's my thing. What does Tiffany actually bring to the table, y'all? Because the only thing she does is boss these men around. Like, I get it, you believe in yourself and all of that, but you out here carrying around your little box, pretending like you do nails, but really you selling weed. What are you bringing to the table, sis? Like, Tiff is really out here doing bare minimum, but bossing Rob around as if she's his mama. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Nonetheless, she basically wants them to get their money up so that way they can cut ties with Douda, be their own bosses. This woman, she wants it all. So we actually see Rob. He goes to see his mom. Baby, his mom is played by none other than the legend Lynn Whitfield. I said, here we go again. Baby girl, she will be mean. She can be all types of characters. But one thing she not gonna be is broke. She's going to be a rich woman. So, like I said, Rob, he goes to see his mom and he asks her for a loan. She's like, how much do you need? He's like, $50,000. And he plans to pay her back. However, she agrees to give it to him, but she wants something in return. She wants him to seek revenge for Q's death because according to her, he was more than a brother. He practically raised her. He's the reason why, they basically grew up the way that they grew up. And she tells him, listen, I'll give you the $50,000, but you have to figure out or find out who killed Q and just dumped his body in a river. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna need $100K for that. She's like, oh, for $100K, you gotta do more than that. So now his mother wants him to be a killer. I said, wait a minute. Like, I understand that you want to seek revenge for your brother and all that, but you gonna have your son do it? That's a little crazy. Like, shouldn't your son be trying to live, a better life or something? Maybe not. This is The Chi. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Please, let's go ahead and start a conversation below. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.